Welcome to another PC Sportscards PSA submission reveal. This is Josh with PC Sportscards, and we do videos. It seems like we're going to end up doing them almost every day, if not every day of the week. The videos would include PSA reveals, outgoing submissions to PSA, consignment cards we have up, how-to videos, some news in the hobby. If you're into that kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button, click the little bell, and get alerts. Make sure when you're watching these videos, you comment on them. We try to make these interactive. What we do, if you haven't seen these videos before, is we're going to pick out 5 or 6 topics and go through them, tell you some of our strategies, talk about the submission, cough because of seasonal allergies, and basically just go through it, right? So as you can see, this submission was sent in on April 13th, received April 19th, happy birthday to me, and completed on 6/6, so a month and a half turnaround time for this. Really not bad at all. For $50, you know, got some real room for profit in a lot of these cards. First up, Isaiah Green. As you guys know, if you watch these videos, I'm all about grading the chrome autos to sell. Now, obviously, not so lucky getting 9s on these ones. But go through it all together. Talk about some of the cards. Red Refractor, number to 5. Didn't even realize that. Torkelson, Dylan Dingler. Great name. Pete Crow Armstrong. And didn't get into any of those because our first topic is going to be, and the big topic we're talking about today, just so you know, as it says on the top, which I'm sure you read in the last minute and a half, is trading up through grading. So I went to a trade night last night, and I didn't really talk to a lot of people because that's not how I go out to those things. But people are trying to make deals, but like you could trade up with yourself. So that's what I sort of want to talk about today. And our first card is a Bowman Draft Jordan Lawler Sapphire PSA 10. As you can tell on the bottom, only 69 graded. 50% of them are 10s, so not a lot of 10s. If you look on the right, you're going to see that the total grading population is almost 1,000 Sapphire cards graded, and almost 55 or 60% of them are 10s. So this one is lower than the normal one. Maybe there's more clean cards out there. Maybe people haven't sent them in yet. Who knows? But $70 raw card, spend $50. I would actually recommend sending this for $30, and you can get it to be worth about $200. I don't see that going down so fast. Maybe $170, $180, but I think the raw card will deteriorate at a similar pace. And on the right, you could see for that $200 that you just sold $120 worth of investment for, you now have $200, right? You put another $30 to $50 in, and maybe that's worth $350, $400. You do that over and over again, and that's the idea of trading up through grading. Take your more common cards, 60, 70% gem rate cards. Again, you need the skill to be able to look them over. I'm sure Marcelo Meyer is a much bigger one. Mayer is a much bigger profit margin than Lawler right now also. Joe Mack. So this is an example of somebody that these are the first two graded of Joe Mack. It's a $2 card raw. Since it's the first one graded, you might get $75, $80 for it. You know, at $50, it might not be the best move to send it in, right? One makes money, one breaks even. You don't really make a lot of money altogether. But if you know what you're looking for and you can get those 10s more often than not, you're going to make money, and you could then take your base cards or your chrome cards or your other cards and turn those. See, look at all these 10s, right? You're making money on every single one of these. You could turn your base cards into really nice cards, right? And just like we talked about the other day, since value opened up for only $30 a card, now you're saving another $20. So the $70 cards, instead of sending 3 of them in, or if you have the money for 4 of them, now you have the money for 5 of them because you can send in at $30, right? So save the $20 and get one more card, right? And that I mean, I'll talk about it every single time about our services, right? We're the biggest PSA submitter. A lot of you guys know that. If you don't, we are. We sent 400,000 cards in 2020. We sent 150,000 cards in 2021. We're also a monstrous, huge seller on eBay. Our name is on there, PC_Sportscards. Lewis Hamilton, number to 70. So a lot of people, one service we provide that not a lot of people provide is the ability to take your grading fees out of your sales of cards for eBay. We call it grading to consignment. And basically we'll sell the cards for you, and you won't have to take any money out of your pocket. So you can use your money while it's already being made for you, right? At the end of the day, you get a check. A lot of customers take advantage of this. In this order, we have one customer that consigned his entire order. He has some cool cards in there. And again, he has a lot of stuff that it's the first one graded. So there's money to be made for him because he's beating people to the punch, right? All of these George Russells, I was looking these up. These are $1,000, $1,500 at a PSA 10 now. Absolutely nuts. Especially the SP. Aqua Leclerc, number to 99. So you don't need to find a trading partner, right? Like we talk about making profit. We talk about making money doing it. But like if you're collecting, you can use your grading to improve your collection, right? And that's huge. That's absolutely huge. There's not many hobbies or industries where you could do that, where you can use what you like, use what you love doing, and turn that into making more money. Right, that's a cool card. So in our next video on either Thursday or Friday, we're going to go over some Topps Chrome stuff because there's a lot of Topps Chrome Sapphire in order, and I want to go through all the money that you could be making doing that. And again, at that trade night last night, this is a cool card. These lavas or whatever they are really cool. Red wave in this 5 of 5. It's red lava for something else. I was at a trade night last night. F1. Everybody's talking about F1. I'm not on board fully yet, but like it's a hot market right now. Very, very hot. Not my thing. I again, you guys know I stick to what I like. So I collect my basketball. I collect my baseball. I collect specific players. We don't buy that many deals anymore because of consignment. So I'd rather, personally, just being as transparent as possible. I'd rather take less risk and my customers make more money, because if my customers are making more money, they're going to come back and do it again. And then I have long-term customers, and instead of trying to buy from somebody and not working out for them, not working out for me having to take risk. I don't really love doing that. I'd way rather just provide you all the services that you need. And our goal is to basically run your grading, flipping, consignment business. And I want to do a video on like using our website at one point, because all the reporting is there. I mean, we had somebody consign cards, and it was like $20,000 worth of cards, 150 cards, and he ended up getting paid. And it was anywhere from $15 cards to a couple $1,000 cards. Right, there were a bunch of big ones in there, but overall his payout rate was like 88 or 87%. So he got more money than he would get doing all the work himself. Think about that. He didn't have to do any of the work, and he got more money. So, all right, we're on to our next customer. And this customer is actually, every single card here is great to consign. I'm going to leave that off because of some of the stuff we're going to talk about. But I think this is the first one of this graded, right? So these are going to be some good ones to watch because we have some key names here. $50 a card again. Some of these, you know, you're beating people to the punch. This customer I know doesn't actually really review his cards. And without reviewing his cards, he got mostly, I think he got 1.8. Without reviewing his cards, he got 1.8. So again, another reason, just so you guys know, not to pay somebody to tell you you're going to get a 9 or better. He doesn't review his cards, and he got all 9s except for 1. And I'll tell you when his order stops. Scotty Barnes, PSA 10 auto. Like these are going to go really well, and maybe we'll do a video. I'll follow these cards through the consignment process, and we'll do a video on them. Trey Lance, variation no huddle, probably super low pop. Waddle, PSA 10. This would have been a great one to get a PSA 10, but it only got a 9, numbered 8 of 80. This is a perfect card to be sending in for a $50 submission. I'm upset that one didn't get a 10, actually. Jamar. The Waddle, of course, the wide receiver, number 3 of 80, gets a 10. So these are going to be cool cards to watch to see how they do. And here's his 8. The Sunmoo. That's the card coming through. A little like micro crease on the back over here. You probably can't see it. That's why it's an 8. So it's a gorgeous card on the front. So the next topic that we have are these cards. And These are $10 each. One's a 9, one's a 10. Hot name. You know, let's see where these go. If this is a $120 card as a 10 because it's the first one, great decision to submit them, right? You know, better to get both 10s. But when he submitted them, I think these were going for $40 or $50 raw. So that's part of it, right? If this Cade Cunningham's a 10, it's huge. You know, I bet this Jalen Green is one of the first PSA 10s. This is going to be a huge card, right? Because he's the first one submitting it. So if you're the first one to make the move, you're going to make a lot of money. This is his too, right? Yep. Lesnar auto. These are great cards. So if you think that but one thing that we're going to talk about as we go through this, I don't want to lose this part of it, right? This is going to be the next main topic that we talk about. The next portion that we get to is be the first, but be the first with the right names, right? You don't want to submit somebody that nobody cares about. We talked about this last night at trade night. The reason you grade a card is because you think somebody else is going to pay more money for it graded, right? Or that's one. We're talking only flipping, right? We're not talking long-term protection, long-term collection. We're talking in the flipping, in the idea of flipping a card, you're grading it to make it worth more money. Somebody needs to be on the other end of that transaction. That's why people are like, oh, what's a multiplier? What's the multiplier for this? There's no multiplier for a lot of things because, like, for example here, like, I don't know that I would have graded this card. How many people want Jalen Waddle insert PSA 10 auto number to 49? Like, to me, that's not a card I really worry about grading unless it's to protect it. Judge variation. Okay. So I'm just trying to figure out where we are. Good. Oh, he got 2 8s. I'm sorry. Again, without reviewing cards, he got 2 8s, and this is a horrible black back. So, Tatis, Judge, great names to submit, right? I don't know the right names in F1. It's just not my specialty. Tatis, great. Sick card, actually. What's that number 2? 75. People want Tatis. Got a Wander rookie patch auto. It's freaking huge. I don't know that people care that it's in like Inception thick cards. Nobody really cares if they're graded, right? So that's the last. I think that's the last one on his list, right? So now we're up to the next person who paid for their order already. But again, a perfect example of a card. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't just have us sell this right away. Reality, right? I don't think there's a high pop on it. I don't see the point in not selling it. Maybe you want to sell it yourself. Cool, sell it yourself. Personally, I would rather let us do the work. Like, just taking it from another perspective, not even like, yeah, I get to do the work, but if I was trying to maximize my time, I would let somebody else do the work and make the same amount of money. I wouldn't, I don't know that I would want to sell it myself. This guy did great, right? All 10s here. Tons of 10s, Ohtani. Great cards to be sending at $50. And if you look, it's all the names, right? Mahomes, second year, that's a really tough grade. Mahomes. Silver snapshots, cool card. Right, and this is the third one. I think we may have talked about Trevor before. A couple things to talk about. Sorry, again, allergies are horrible this time of year. So, stick to the chase names. This year in football, 5 quarterbacks, right? Last year in football, 3 quarterbacks, right? Trevor is one of the chase names. He's probably still the biggest chase name in my mind. He has the biggest upside of any of those guys, right? A $9 card plus $50 shipping, plus $50 for grading, gets you $123 as a PSA 10. Even as a PSA 9, this isn't one of those cards, because it's the right name, it's not one of those cards that is not going to sell as a 9, right? There's only 430 graded. That's going to be in the 1,000, 2,000 range. With the $30 level, people are now shipping these in like crazy. If you want to submit this card and grade it, you need to do it at $50 right now. $30, you're going to get it too late. You're going to lose money. At $30, that 9's going to be $20. At $30, that 10's going to be $60. So you can still make a little bit, but if you want to get it to 100, get it to 90, 95, it's going to drop a little bit. Then we're going to get to football season, it's going to go back up. You need to send it in. Some people are like, oh, I'll just send it in an alternate grader. Cool. You get a 10 at SGC, which is probably harder to get a 10 at than PSA. Harder, right? The stats say it. It's harder to get it. I don't know why. But $56. So you pay $25 if you want to send it there. 8 plus 25 gets you 56. Still making money. The game that people want to play is they want to do it over and over again. 75% of them are 10s. I guess 35 or 40% of them are 10s at SGC and some 9.5s. 9.5s you're not going to... What are you going to get at 9.5? 35, $40? Breaking even now. You know, you're losing it at a 9 for PSA. It's true. Breaking even at a 9.5. Probably don't want to do that over and over again to break even, because as more get graded by every company, as more get graded of this card, it's going to go down in value. It's not a card that's going to last long term. It's just not. Look at everybody else. It's not different than any of the other ones. It's not different than Zion. It's not different than Luka. It's not different than Herbert. It's not different than any of them. The only benefit that you have right now is that it's a lower starting point, right? That's just not a long-term card in my mind. If you want to have one, and that's why you're grading it, cool. Send it for $30. Don't send it for $50. If you're trying to get it to make money, send it for $50. Know what you're sending in. Send it for $50. Paper's, to me, paper is easier to evaluate than Chrome. Cool card. Send it in for $50. Very cool card. Low pop. So, and this is one of our customers that's been grading with us for a long time. And there's a few names in here that I don't know why he sent. We haven't gone to them yet, but in general, first of all, very high 10 rate. Right, if you look, very high 10 rate, optic, perfect card to send in for $50. Right, you want to get that back before the basketball season. Another one, Jordan Poole, great timing on this one, sending it in April. I guess it was the beginning of the playoffs almost. That's crazy. Got it back near the end of the playoffs when they're making a run. It's great timing on that card. Another one that I would sell right away. Liftoff Fractal. Cool Braun. Desmond Bane was hot in the beginning of the playoffs, so I get it. I have some other stuff like that, so I get sending that in. There was no $30 level. Troy Brown, these ones are a little confusing. I guess if you're sending all this other stuff in, maybe you're a Troy Brown collector, and you're using the money that you know you're going to make from your 10s and the other stuff. James Wiseman, Reactive Yellow. Cool card. It's very cool with the Warriors colors. DeMar, this is another one I don't know. I would be at not the $30 level now. But again, you didn't have that option. Right? You didn't have that option. So, and that submission was a great example of sticking to the key names. I wish I could tell you some soccer names. I can't. I will tell you that the next topic is very interesting. It's actually one of the most interesting topics that I've come across, because I've never seen it before. And it's because of the cost of grading. So, you know, we talk about sending in the base cards to sell to get the better cards, to get the refractors and the color, right? Trading up. But this cool card, Dobbins White Sparkle, probably wouldn't send this in for $50 though. Send it in for $30. So Marcelo Mayer, we talked about him a little bit earlier. 4. So he's the chase name. So sticking to him is great. $2 card as a PS10 is $100, but a $20 card as a PS10 is $150. And you ask yourself, why? Why is it so much different? Why is it only $50 more when it's 10 times more? Why is it only 50% more? If you look at the pop reports, there's only 60 base chromes graded. I thought that was crazy. I looked twice. Maybe I missed something, but there's only 60 graded. So there's a huge premium because there's so few, and people still want to buy that card, right? With the refractors, because people didn't want to spend $50 to grade it, maybe, right? Like, it's a lot of money to grade a $2 card, even though profit's there if you get it. If you get a 9, you're SOL, right? With the refractors, a PSA 9 is like $50, $40-$50. A PSA 10 is $150 to $200, and almost all of them are 9s and 10s. So you have like a $20 risk difference to make a lot of money. So there's 5 times as many, 4.5 times as many refractors graded already. So what does that tell me? First of all, I'm not sending base in, right? For $50, I'm not sending it in. I think other people are going to see this and say, oh, I'm going to send all my base in right now. I think there's more in there that hasn't come back yet. I wouldn't want to get on that train when I can only, like, I don't mind the extra few dollars. Like, and I think with 268 already graded, we're already through a lot of people that graded them right away. So I think there's a lot that, I don't know, I wouldn't be buying refractors. I'd be going for color, but I would be using refractors to flip probably because it's 65, 70% as a gem. And I think that that's a reasonable price that's not going to go down much to start. It might go down, but like at some point is the refractor going to catch up to the base card? So the base, I think the base card has more down left in it than the refractor. Maybe I'd send the chromes at 30 for a long-term kind of play on it because I don't think there's going to be a cheaper version of grading anytime soon. Very interesting one. I'm trying to figure out how I actually feel about it. What do you guys think about it? Do you guys think that it's a good move with Mayer to send refractors or base right now? I'm torn. I don't think that I'd be sending the base because I think it's going to go down fast. I think we're already past the point of being able to send it in. There's no upside on it, right? Like my 9s are going to be $10, $15 because like a 9 refractor is $40. So there's limited protection for it because all the refractors are in there already. So like I think I'm either sticking to color and autos or like basically avoiding him. It's a weird market to look at. Like right. Like I don't really get it yet. I'm trying to wrap my head around how there's so many more refractors graded. It's crazy that's what the $50 level did. It kept the base out. So if I'm looking as a buyer and I'm like, oh shit, a refractor is only $150. Why am I spending $100 on a base? Right? So if I have base coming back, I'm getting rid of them right away. Like I want them gone ASAP. Right? Because I just think they're going to go down. Look at the refractor prices. I'd probably try to get color. Or like pivot to the other chase names, right? There's other chase names in the product because it's draft. So I'd probably pivot to the other chase names. And I'd check out those pop reports because there might be some opportunity to send in the base cards if only refractors are being sent in. You might be able to beat some people to the punch and make a quick buck. Really weird one. All right, guys. Really appreciate you hanging out with me, checking this out. We're going to do these videos all the time. We have another one coming up that's going to come out either tomorrow or Friday. We have a video about consignment coming out. With all the high-end stuff. Another monster auction ending this week. Remember, subscribe, hit that little bell, get alerts. And I look forward to talking to you next time, and have a good one.